So it's the Sixth Isle of Man Film Festival. I'm back again, which I'm very glad to have been invited back. So yesterday we had a big event that was basically celebrating the careers of Steve Christian and John Hurt. Steve Christian obviously was crucially important to the development of the film industry here in the Isle of Man. And we were showing clips from his films and remembering the extraordinary work that he'd done. And John Hurt came to the film festival here a couple of years ago, and he made All the Little Animals back in the late 90s, which is a film he really, really liked. And he came here a couple of years ago, and we did a screening of The Elephant Man at the Gaiety, which was lovely. And since both Steve Christian and John Hurt we've lost since the last festival, we decided to celebrate both of their works together. So we showed clips from John's work. Anwen was here, and she spoke a little bit about John, which was lovely because she was with him when he came over to the festival last time. The problem that we had was there were so many films, because there was like 108 films that had been made on the island or something, and then John Hurt's career, which just, it has got everything in it, you know, classic drama, television, science fiction, then we showed Alien later on. So that was what it was. It was a celebration of those two people who've both been involved in film in the Isle of Man, and it was great. It was really, really good fun.
When we were conceptualising this year's festival, I was requested almost to do a tribute, or to incorporate a tribute to Steve Christian. We lost him, it was a big shock. The Isle of Man government, who has obviously they have a big thanks to give to Steve for creating such an incredible industry on the Isle of Man, for diversifying our economy. You know, it's why we all have our jobs actually in that department in film. So because of him, there was definitely a lot of talk about having to celebrate his life. And then obviously at the same time we'd heard the terrible news that Sir John Hurt had passed away after coming over here and then beating cancer, and he was just such a wonderful person. To hear that news, it was such a hard year for the festival that we thought, actually this year let's make it a tribute event. It kind of married together really well, and it means something at this time of year for us now, because we're in our 6th year, and it just felt like it was a bit of a reunion for certain people. To get Anwen back here tonight has been beautiful. Mark has brought his family. It's just a really nice family effort, and it's been gorgeous.
Today, Sunday, we had the short film strand of the festival, which is always the most exciting part. So we had a load of short films. It seemed to me that we had more this year than we've had before. Certainly, I know that we were absolutely sort of oversubscribed almost with entries, and it was great. There was comedies, there was documentaries, there were animations, there were dramas, you know, wartime drama, modern drama. We watched all of those, and then since then we've been racking our brains attempting to figure out some kind of prize winning, which is really difficult. I know everybody always says this, but it is really difficult, because when the standard is very high, you just think, well, actually you could legitimately give any of these awards to any of these films and it would look perfectly fine. Sometimes you kind of think, I wish that some of them weren't any good, because then we wouldn't have to worry about them, but they were all really, really great. And then we're just now waiting to do the big gala presentation this evening.
I thought it was a very poignant evening, if I'm being honest. Poignant because they talked about Steve Christian, who obviously his baby was Isle of Man Film and put the Isle of Man on the map. And then very poignant listening to late John Hurt's wife talk about his career. And she was very brave, I thought, standing up there, because it must have been quite raw. But a very entertaining evening.
First came to the festival here, which was my first visit to the Isle of Man itself, 2 years ago, 2015, with my husband John Hurt, and we had a wonderful time. John actually was a bit like Mark, really. He liked islands particularly, and of course he had a happy time here when he made All the Little Animals, and John really enjoyed being here and doing that film, and thought it was very beautiful here, which it is.
It's just got bigger and bigger. It's very well supported. Mark Kermode obviously is a huge benefit, and he's a massive supporter of the festival. But you know, every year I feel like the standard of the films gets better and better, and this year was no exception. I was a judge on for the shorts that were in this year's competition, and they were all fantastic. I think they all deserve something, but I was really pleased with the results.
It's just really nice to have like work recognized by people, you know. So you spend all the time watching the edits over and over again. So I didn't think we stood a chance, but that's because I've picked apart every fault in that film from a million times over now. So yeah, it's just really nice that other people see it with fresh eyes and like it enough to want to give you a piece of glass for it. So.
The film just won Best Documentary, which is amazing. I'm thrilled. Like, this film is the first thing that I've ever made that really represents my voice and perspective as a filmmaker. So for it to have won Best Documentary here is just a huge deal to me. And it's been such a great experience at the festival. The rest of the program's been awesome as well. So yeah, it's just been a great experience, and I'm over the moon.
Oh, well, it's fantastic actually, because this is next week will be exactly a year since we first started putting this film out into festivals. So it's our anniversary. And we have picked up a couple of awards like bronze medals and so on along the way, but this is the first time we've won a Best in Class, so Best Comedy, so we're really delighted. Also, what's fantastic about this festival is the amount of love and care that goes into it, actually. The involvement, the dedication that you get from the team and from Mark Kermode, clearly. No, it's been marvellous to be involved.
I'm humbled, I really am. I mean, a really large chunk of these awards do belong to them, because they help me sort of get the film off the ground, and I'm really proud that this was my first film. This is my first self-financed film as well. I'd like to add, and I'm just humbled, yeah, humbled.